Once upon a time.
Jamie does one interview with her actor, big guess, Sala Samosa.
Several days later.
I liked it. I was recently watching a discussion with exhibitors on the Pink Villa YouTube channel, where they were saying clashes only make sense if the fans of one film don't bleed onto the other, saying that it's not good for business when you have two massy films like Bhool Bhulaiya and Singham Again releasing on the same weekend, because the fans of the commercial template would want to see both. The picture might be different after both the trailers dropped. In contrast to the same, Hindi cinema this weekend provides two films completely polar opposite to one another. One, an understated and stylized sibling jailbreak story, and another, a slapstick over-the-top comedy, so there's something for everyone this weekend. I stepped in for the film to be engrossed in Vasan Bala's stylized approach to the genre and hoping to be emotionally drawn in with the ride-or-die sibling dynamic shared between Alia Bhatt and Vedang Raina. This film focuses on Satya, played by Alia Bhatt, who has had a difficult childhood as referenced in the teaser of the film, and holds one person closest to her in life, Ankur, her younger brother, played by Vedang Raina. When Ankur is in prison due to an apparent possession of an illegal substance in a foreign land, he finds himself imprisoned and sentenced to receive death by electric chair in 3 months. As Satya gets to know this horrifying news, the tiger mom in her kicks in, willing to do anything to get him out of this maximum security prison. Is Ankur innocent and has he been framed? What is his experience in jail when surrounded by criminals? And how does Satya accomplish this impossible task of getting him out of the jail? Forms the basic premise of Jigra. The one thing I want to clarify even before I start the review is the plagiarism claims that are being flung towards Jigra, and I have seen the films that are being referenced as having inspired Jigra without any credit. First, the Divya Khosla Kumar starrer Savi, which is an official remake of the Russell Crowe starrer The Next 3 Days, has nothing common with Jigra other than it being a prison break story. Savi incorporates a hammy portrayal of an ex-inmate played by Anil Kapoor, who sports various unintentionally funny get-ups and lends advice to Divya in the film, and how she can make her innocent husband escape from jail. It primarily follows the beats of the Hollywood film in which the husband makes his wife escape. The beats of the screenplay are absolutely different from what Jigra follows. Similarly, the 1993 film Gumrah also showcases a jailbreak, but the relationship shared between Sanjay Dutt and Sridevi, the manner in which the prison break happens, which is comical by the way, Sanjay Dutt holding onto a physical map as two jailers make out with each other, and the fan singer duo escape. Jigra follows a completely different path than these two films. A prison break being common between these films can't be grounds of plagiarism. Please understand on how it's not as if Jigra has only tweaked a few things so that you can't make out it's a remake. It has its own identity with the characters, their motivations, and the relationships that drive the prison break. Now that I've got that out of the way, here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether you want to watch Jigra in theatres or not. The underwhelming aspects. Language gap and convoluted setup. One of the major reasons why this film is going to have a restricted viewership is because of the case of imprisonment for Vedang Raina's character happens in a foreign land in Southeast Asia. This leads to many of the dialogues between the characters being delivered in either English or the foreign language with Hindi subtitles. I know we are in the age of authenticity, especially when you look at examples of a web series like The Family Man, where every character dependent on the state they are from speak in what they are comfortable in. However, when it comes to storytelling, especially for films that directly release in theatres, this can be a huge deterrent for audiences to get fully invested in the story. It almost cuts down the viewership, much like this channel, because the content is in English. So as Satya is finding solutions in a foreign land and Ankur is enduring torture in a foreign jail, it leads to many of the dialogues being in English or the foreign language. This is more of a cautionary tale for all of you if you are stepping in for the film. The other element that may be a slight hindrance for you as a viewer is that there are many moving elements in the film that are moving at the same time. A plan being hatched in the jail and outside of it almost simultaneously take place, and this keeps you on your toes but slightly confuses you as well. The goal is simple, but the journey getting there much like how you may have seen in Monica Oh My Darling, takes time to get there and it's a convoluted process. The art of mass is missing. One knows the outcome of a prison break film, so the hope within an audience is that the journey to reach there, especially if it's a Vasan Bala film, is stylized and action-packed. While for the most part the journey absolutely hits the right notes, especially Satya's demeanor, which is a total massy avatar by the way, there are some momentary hiccups, at least from an editing standpoint, which made me realize that the art of mass is still a learning curve for many directors in Hindi cinema. You know, the art of when the BGM kicks in, how a surprising attack can be revealed from a staging and editing POV? That is an art itself, something mastered by many creators of Telugu and Tamil cinema. But the same magic is slightly lacking in two sequences especially that involve a combat sequence between Satya and Rahul Ravindran's character and from the terrace of the jail. The choice of song utilized in the action set pieces as the film goes in super slow-mo almost takes away from the exhilarating nature of the action set pieces. The film attempts to create a villain out of the jailer Vivek Gombar, who plays his part well, but the reason for his sadistic ways or the pride for his country is a missing block I wish the film explored. The sequence in which he is in a triple threat handicap match where he exchanges blows with the prisoners is probably the weakest action set piece from the film. The good. Cinematography, and true to the genre and characters. The film is visually stunning as it strikes just the right balance between practical effects and real locations and enhancing certain complex portions of the film through the use of CGI, specifically the manner in which the ambush in the prison takes place. Cinematographer Swapnil Sonavane does a spectacular job in easing us into the film before it reaches its action-packed crescendo. The warm tones utilized as Satya visits the foreign land are an indication of the calm before the storm, and when it goes in full gear in several of the chase sequences and specifically the prison break, you can't help yourself but be drawn in. The one misconception that I also want to clarify is that many people assume for this to be a female-led action film, almost as if Alia should be well versed with all the stunts, but the film essentially is of a big sister's visceral feeling of acting out of impulse when knowing her brother is in danger. It is the fascinating phenomena of untrained mothers having all the strength in the world to raise a car if they see their child stuck underneath it. Similarly, Satya, while not competent physically, has a grit to do it irrespective of what others think. So you see her struggling while training, getting pushed around and beaten, and the only thing keeping her going is the horror that her younger brother is suffering inside. It's a unanimous feeling of all elder siblings, protective of their younger ones, whose claws come out at the very prospect of someone harming them. Basically, you won't be seeing Manoj Pawar doing some over-the-top action, or for Alia to eliminate her threat with ease. For the most part, it is understated and effective. Music and the supporting cast. Achin Thakkar has to be one of the most unique music composers who has made a name for himself, especially after his opening credits for Scam 1992 became a national anthem. He provided the music for Kho Gaye Hum Kahan and Monica Oh My Darling, which can be considered to be some of the most unique and contemporary music albums from Hindi cinema that I have seen recently. The important thing to acknowledge is that they might not be the most commercial numbers, but they fit the screenplay and theme of the film. This is an offshoot from the music in the current market that is mostly being designed for virality on reels, whereas the background score and both the musical numbers, Phoolo Ka Taroka and Tenu Sang Rakhna, fit as an essential thread to the film's storyline. The one thing that I feared about a Vasan Bala film is that it would be style over substance, but the sibling core of the film is a standout, and I'll tell you more on that later. The BGM that kicks in every time the walls start closing in on Satya, as everyone tells her that this is a lost cause, highlighting that inner tigress within her willing to do anything to save the brother, is marvelous. Manoj Pawar being in a similar predicament is exceptional also. He's real, he's funny, and he's like that father figure everyone dreams of. He has such an infectious, lovable energy that fits so well in the film, tagging along with Satya's madness and reveling in the chaos also. Rahul Ravindran provides good support as well, really going all out in the combat sequences of the movie that also include Alia getting totally roughed up. Vasan Bala detailing and the duo. If you are stepping in for a Vasan Bala film, you know the screenplay will be sprinkled with Easter eggs and just the director showcasing what a Hindi cinema fanboy he truly is. If one was to really discuss the film, it can literally be an homage to Amitabh Bachchan, and it's crazy that they are doing the same on his birthday, making me wonder if the release date was intentional. There are several meta moments as well, which are honestly a cinema enthusiast's dream to see play out on the big screen. You remember prior to the release talking about giving someone a raise who decided to cast these two as siblings? They were bang on. Alia embodies the big sister energy that every elder sibling is going to connect with. This protective instinct to be a ride or die come what may. You can see the love pouring from Alia's eyes in the way she looks at Vedang, the concern of the company he shares, and always putting on a brave face for him. The heartbreaking sequence of Vedang helplessly breaking down in front of Alia across the glass as Alia tries to put on a strong face is one of the best moments from the film. Vedang is no different. Seeing him scream excruciatingly while he is being lashed in jail really makes your heart sink. Solidifying for me on why this duo works so well for the film. Alia has this relentless energy and Vedang has this naive vulnerability that act as such a balancing act for the film. You know, we often speak about not writing strong female characters, but strong characters that happen to be female. And Satya fits that category bang on, having no time for small talk and fearlessly charging ahead. Both the siblings and their contrasting energies fit really well, both perfectly encapsulating that bond and what becomes the emotional core of the film. And in a moment of respite, as Satya finally expresses herself, it all comes gushing out. It acts as such a beautiful moment of closure as the strong facade finally vanishes. A formidable female-led film without even in the slightest being preachy. And yes, there are bumps along the way, but taking such a subject with such an authentic treatment in a world which is IP dependent and star cameo dependent, I am telling you, no one gives them credit, but Hindi cinema is doing it different and doing it like no one else in 2024. It truly is praiseworthy. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Jigra. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.